Oh man. All right. Well, I hope I hit it after I said that. And if someone heard that, my apologies. I might.
Well, I have a Facebook notification that we're live, so yeah.
Okie dokie. Sorry. That was an accident. That's the second time I've done that on the show. At least it didn't go out into the feed yet, like that one time.
And you were talking about EA and well, it was their number one grossing game for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Simpsons tapped out, and like number two
Yeah.
was like not even a quarter of the revenue.
Right. It's
just
insane, man.
ridiculous.
Those mobile games are just crazy. Okay, so everything's together. The extra shows there. We got a really long voicemail, but it's a funny story, so I'll let you guys hear that. Let me just make sure I have my audio routed properly. So can you guys hear the boss tones?
And constant contradictions and just us.
Okay. So then we're good. All right. That's how we should start.
Apparently,
every show.
Matt can still hear it.
Matt just well, it infects his body, and it takes he's got a 10-second delay.
Infectious.
He can't get the groove out once it's in. Ooh. All right. Tuesday morning. Let's do a recording. Hi, everybody who's watching live. Tuesday morning.
Hello.
Hello, ladies.
Hello. Wood Talk /live. Should I bitch about bad finishing videos that I've been watching?
In the What's New segment, I've got the new Modern Maker podcast that I've been listening to, and they have a section they call What We're Obsessing About. And it's, you get into something new, so you watch a bunch of videos to learn how to do it or whatever. And that's kind of what it is. And that's so funny you just said that, because my thought was, oh, we should do the same thing, except things we're going to bitch about.
Yeah.
So I've been watching videos lately, and I just got to bitch about.
That sounds good. Let's do that.
Seeing as we're like the old podcast on the scene, it's about
we kind
time
of
we
are.
start to get curmudgeonly.
We are the old grumpy podcast of woodworkers, if there is a such thing. Actually, I think Fine Woodworking Live has that title. We're the second most old and grumpy podcast.
I should really listen to that some more. I don't know why I stopped listening.
I know why I stopped listening. Because I don't listen to anything. I listen to same thing with watching videos. I don't, like, if I need something, I'll go look for it, but I don't find it pleasurable to sit around and watch woodworking videos. I have like other things I want to look at in life. And
no, I get that.
Know,
I still commute, so like
that's
I
true.
If I had
a commute, it'd be a totally different story.
But I tend to listen to non-woodworking stuff.
Yeah,
like,
see, that's what I do.
The Make Me Smarter podcast is awesome.
Oh,
Molly Wood and Kai, what's his name?
I haven't heard that one yet. Stuff You Should Know is really good too.
Yeah, it's another one.
Listen to that one. Those guys are fantastic. All right, let's do a stupid show, shall we?
Stupid show.
Stupid, please.
I'll throw on a couple extra dollops of extra stupid sauce. All right, here we go.
Welcome to Wood Talk. Now here are three guys who can never resist a good butt joint joke. Mark, Shannon, and Matt.
All right, that's so true, isn't it?
Awesome.
All right, it's Wood Talk number 365 for March 13th, 2017. On today's show, we're talking about chisel recommendations for the noob, when to stop face jointing, static explosions, oh no, and movement in manufactured furniture. And I want to mention today's show is sponsored by Brusso Hardware. Be sure to check out Brusso's new Photo Extra newsletter. This is a weekly update from Brusso dedicated to customer-submitted photos. Brusso's customers work on detailed projects including ring boxes, humidors, keepsakes, gun boxes, and furniture. It's an excellent source of inspiration for your next project. The newsletter is short, quick, has great photos, and is delivered right to your inbox. To sign up, visit brusso.com/photoextra. That's all one word, brusso.com/photoextra. And I'll tell you what else you should do. You should go to their website and look at their hinges, and once you wipe the drool from your lips, make a purchase, because it will blow your mind. We've talked about them many times on the show. They make fantastic products, the highest quality hardware I've ever worked with, and and I've got pretty expensive tastes. I've got a beer budget and champagne taste in a beer budget or some stupid saying like that. Actually, I'm more of a milk guy. I don't really like champagne. Okay. So yeah, good stuff. Go check them out. Brusso.com/
tastes on a Harbor Freight budget.
Oh, that's a good one. I want a t-shirt with that on it. I like that. Although I am sitting on this Honda money. It's frankly, it's given me a little bit of chafing at this point, but
Yeah, but it's not Jaguar money.
that's true. It could be. I could have more.
Mercedes money, or
I could have a fluffier bed of cash than I have now.
yeah. Talk to me when you have Aston Martin money.
Yes.
Oh man.
Probably never. Okay, where the heck are our Patreons?
You know, we should take a
we go.
second to say that we do broadcast this show live. It
Yeah,
shows
we
up
don't
on
mention it much.
YouTube, and if you were watching it live, you got to watch Matt basically pantomime while Mark was reading that ad.
Nice.
Which to me, basically, I can die now.
That was all you needed in life, right? You've seen
So,
everything.
Yeah. These are the things you miss out if you don't catch us live.
Yeah, but I miss out on it because I'm busy reading, so I'm not even looking at the little thumbnail
I was trying to
size.
see like where your eyes were going. If they're gonna come back to the Skype call or not. If it's gonna stay on the script.
Yeah, yeah. I got to get this together. I can't multitask. Okay, where are
Come
we?
on.
We're
The
thanking people.
Northeast is in the middle of a nor'easter, people. You're not working right now.
Yeah,
Don't
you should be
pretend
sitting
you're
around
working.
listening to Wood
You should
Talk.
be watching us live.
If you still have internet, who knows? Maybe people's power has gone out. So yeah, you did mention this live thing. So it's youtube.com/woodtalk/live. And we broadcast there as well as on our Facebook page. So if you want to catch the show live, you can usually subscribe to those things to get notifications. And you could, hear me drop an F-bomb like I did in the first few seconds, which I hope just didn't make it into the feed. Way to go, Mark. Good job. Okay. So we have some people to thank if you want to support us cursing in front of people. It's at patreon.com/woodtalk.
Look how he lumps us into this. Support us cursing. I
Hey,
didn't
you
say
guys
it
are
was.
guilty by association, man.
Constantly cursing.
You guys are here. You're here voluntarily.
It's true.
It's like I posted that picture of on Facebook. Did you guys see that of the work thong? It's basically like a Carhartt
yeah.
tool belt,
Yes.
but it's a thong. So it's just a picture of a dude's butt cheeks. And Nicole made this joke about that mine would be much hairier or something like that. And I had to remind her that, look, I was born with this hairy butt. Well, my butt it got hairy as I got older, not when I was a baby. I had a smooth baby butt. But she chose to marry into that hairy butt. So it was a choice for her. It wasn't a choice for me. So just like you guys, you have a choice to be on the show and you choose to hang around a cretin like me. So guilty by association.
I guess our wives have that in common.
Right? See that? What's wrong with them, Matt?
They married into
very
that
uncomfortable with this
family.
analogy right now.
Just because you're a hairless, prepubescent teen, I don't want to hear about it.
What about your butt? Let's see it.
Oh wait, aren't we here to do a woodworking show? I'm pretty sure we are.
Oh yeah. This
This has gone off
We
the
started
rails.
with an F-bomb, so we might as well go to nudity now. So.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so we're going to thank a few folks who helped us out over at Patreon, patreon.com/woodtalk. And these folks signed up for one of the various levels that you could contribute. And Joshua Cohen is one of them. Let me get to my main list here. John and Mike Gura, Dan Sweesdel. Man, I'm going to butcher these. Emmett, Eli, Harvey Brotman, Tony Gregory, Krister K., Robert Cashman, Brian Lurch, Robert DeMarco, Eric Cole, Mike Rollinger, Tyler Spady, and Richard Hamp. So thank you, folks. We really appreciate your support. It really cheers us up when we see those little Patreon donations come in. We go, yay, we're doing something right. And then watch them all go away today after this show. Bye-bye. Easy come, easy go.
Too much butt talk.
Too much butt
Yeah.
talk. Yeah.
Seriously,
Well, wait.
We started with the butt joint joke.
Yeah.
And now moved on to the
Dude,
butt
wait till you
talk,
hear
so.
the voicemail we have later, where some guy explains how I almost ruined his friendship and caused all kinds of problems for him. So it's good stuff.
Wow.
Fringed on its
Don't turn it
constitutional.
off.
No,
Don't turn the show
no,
off.
that's a little teaser. Yeah, I'm
got that
burying
coming.
the lead here. Okay,
Also,
so
don't skip forward.
right, all right, let's get
Clickbait.
into.
That's clickbait. Damn you.
Yeah, we had our clickbait conversation this weekend, didn't we? Okay, what's on the bench? I finished my trestle table. It is complete. It is sitting in the kitchen and being used happily by the family. It was definitely a success. It's probably one of the more on target builds. Like we really needed this, and it solved some serious problems and just like creature comfort problems in our kitchen, and it's working out really well. I really like it. Aside from that, I've been distracted for the last 5 days because of my wife's appendix, which apparently didn't get the memo that it's supposed to work, and she had to get an appendectomy emergency surgery on Saturday, and then had a C. diff infection after that point.
Ooh,
yeah, so
Not good.
not good at all. So she's
Break out the probiotics.
yeah, exactly. So she's been in the hospital for several days, probably will be there for a couple days more. And I'm trying to, thankfully, my mother-in-law is here. She flew in to help out, which is a huge help because I've been on 24/7 daddy duty with the two kids, and everything's fine. The house hasn't burned down, so we're in good shape. But it's nice to have some help for sure. It's been kind of crazy. And lastly, I am now going to be moving into the design of.
Oh God, I thought you were saying
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh my God.
I missed it.
Where are you moving now?
Oh no! I'm not getting ready to move anywhere. I'm mentally moving into my next project, and that's going to be a dining chair. So I'm really trying to design a dining chair. Like obviously, comfort is huge, but I really actually want this to be fairly vanilla in a sense. I'm not going out on any crazy, design adventures on this one. I want this to be a classic dining room chair that fits in just about any, decent modern decor. I want it to be sort of a chameleon that can move into whatever types of furniture someone might have, use a different species, get a different look with it, but fairly basic and approachable. Because chairs can be intimidating, if you haven't done one before. So I'd like to limit the crazy joinery that can sometimes be involved with a chair build if the legs are angled just a certain way, and especially if you have bent slats and things like that on them and a curved headrest. These are all things that really complicate the build. So I'm going to have to try to balance, good looking but not being too complicated. So that's partially what I'll be jumping into today. So
I think it's also interesting because there's some gorgeous dining chairs out there. But what I always wonder is you always see like a single beautifully designed dining chair. What does it look like when there's 6 of them?
yeah, could it be too much, right?
Yeah, that's what I wonder. I often wonder if maybe you need to almost strive for understated just because it's going to be times 6.
Yeah.
Or however many. I mean, I think usually isn't 6 kind of the standard number for 4 around the table? Or
I would say
know
so.
In our dining room we have 2.
I'm going to be
kind of
building
off in the
6.
corners.
Actually, I'm
Yeah.
building 6, but because I have to draw the line at some point. Like 6 is enough. We actually are going to be using these at 2 tables. I'll be using it at the trestle table, probably 2 of them there, and then I'll put the other 4 with the gaming dining table. So yeah, and I agree. I think if you put have you seen not Malouf's rocker, but just like the regular chair? I think there's like a Maloof low back
The
chair.
low back. Yeah,
Like,
the low back chair.
and I see what you're saying. Put like 6 or 8 of those around a table. Is that too much? Like, does it lose something if you have too many? That's a really good point. It's a really good excuse not to do more work.
Yeah, there you go. I've seen it. I've seen Nakashima's conoid chair on mass like that. At Hearn Hardwoods, they have a conference table upstairs, and it's surrounded. I think there's like 8 of them, and that actually works. But again, that's a very clean line, understated design chair. I'm thinking of like what's his name, Jeff Miller. Got cool stuff with great lines and like lumbar curves and all that, and it's like that's so cool, but would it look cool with 6 of them?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It'd be a bit much.
it's interesting.
Although I do think you should build a chair making wood shop and move into that just for this build.
I should, because I've got nothing else going on. I may as well do that. Here's the funny thing too with the design of something like this. It's almost, I don't know, with a chair, I don't really want to reinvent the wheel. So I think if anyone embarks on a build like this and you're trying to design something and put your own spin on it, would you guys just start with a blank piece of paper, or because like my approach is to find a chair. You know what I mean? Like find a chair that I like, that I feel is comfortable, the height feels good, and actually just quote unquote borrow elements from that. Because I just feel like this is stuff that's been so well defined and worked out to accommodate the human body. Like, why am I going to try and figure this all out and make a cardboard prototype to make sure my knees are bending in the right spot? Like, there's no shortage of chairs around me. I should be able to figure this out and borrow concepts and just basic information and then put my spin on it. So I mean, I'm half tempted to even maybe go to a furniture store and see if I could buy like a chair that's pretty close to what I want, and then just kind of borrow some information from it and take it back and say, my wife hated it. I'd like to return this, please.
I don't even think you should go that far. Just show up with the tape measure and pencil and paper. They love that.
Brian Benham, the guy that does my SketchUp drawings, he made that suggestion. He's like, he actually suggested bringing some paper in to draw some like templates and then just run out the door. So not even just the tape measure and a camera, but like paper templates.
Let me get some rubbings of this piece of furniture.
You guys mind? Hold on. Like, sir, what are you doing? It's okay. I'm leaving.
Your
Yeah.
response to Brian should be, "Yeah, you come with me and distract them while I go do this."
Well, I'll be the driver, and I'll
There
stand
we go.
outside.
Keep the engine running.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Nice.
All right.
Well, I think the whole chair thing. I mean, we talk about form and function, but isn't that kind of like where that's most important? Like, it's
Yeah.
a chair. Like, if when you sit on it, it's not comfortable, then
Fail.
you kind of like, yeah, it's a major fail. I don't care how pretty it looks.
Mhm.
If it's cutting off the circulation to your legs, that's probably a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Matt, what do you got going on?
Working on my son's bed. It's been
Yeah,
been
yeah.
fun. Yeah, I used a draw knife for the first time. That was fun.
Really? I saw you asking
Yes.
questions about draw knives. So, how are you using it? Just to do what specifically in the
Remove,
project?
bark.
No,
Debark.
I was gonna say, are you gonna give me like the smart ass answer, like when you asked me what I went to college for?
I want to learn.
What are you using that for? To remove wood. Yeah,
For cutting stuff.
for cutting stuff. Like you
know.
do.
Using it for draw knifing.
Usual stuff. Shaving. Straight razor.
There you go.
No, you used it to make Damascus steel on the side of wood.
There you
'Cause That's
go.
what that looked like. It's
It's really,
wicked.
it really is cool looking. Like, I did like a practice one last week or whenever that was. I don't know, sometime later last week, on one of these spots you won't see. So I went all the way down to like the bare wood, all the way through the bark.
hmm
And when I was draw knifing, I went pretty aggressively. So I went through both layers of the bark in one pass, pretty quickly, and then I cleaned up the surface with a Scotch-Brite pad on an angle grinder. So that side is like completely cleaned up. It's like what you would normally see is live edge, where it's just like wood looking.
Mhm.
And I went up there yesterday. And I was just kind of playing around. 'Cause I'm like, I have to say, the draw knife is very addictive. Like, I just wanted to. I don't know what I'm going to use it on, but I'm just going to find some stuff and start going to town with it because it's so much fun to use. I don't know what it is. It's one of those tools where it's like, this is fun. I can't explain it. Leave me alone. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
There's something
Whatever.
very primitive about it. Taps into your inner thread.
It does. It does. It's. I think what it is too, because like, you can vary the angles so interestingly, like forward and back and side to side. They get a skew on it as well, with different size shavings, and like you're actually getting some like exercise as you're pulling through the cut. It's just a lot of fun. It kind of reminds me almost like green turning, where it's just like green turning is a lot of fun. You're taking a big cut, like fancy big giant shavings are coming off. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just a lot of fun. If you haven't tried using a draw knife that's like sharp, I would definitely suggest trying it.
There's the key aspect
Yeah,
right there.
if it's not,
Make sure
it
it's
might
sharp.
not be
It's
quite
not
as
so much
fun.
fun when it's not.
I can't imagine this thing would be nearly as much fun if it was dull.
Yeah.
No,
Just saying.
not so much.
Just saying.
Not so much. Then it becomes a fro, and it just splits wood out at that point.
Right.
What did you end up getting, by the way? Was that a Lee Nielsen shave?
Yeah, I got the Nelson curved shave.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice.
I
have not used
can.
that. I've heard good things.
I sort of,
Yeah.
it's like a power tool analog in a sense, but I get a similar satisfaction out of power carving, and it's a lot louder and a lot dustier. But just something that removes wood in an effortless way, you just feel like you could just keep going all day until there's just nothing left to it, just because it was fun to turn that wood into, to pulverize it and turn it into dust, or in your case, nice shavings and stuff like that. But I think, yeah, there is something about that just fluidity of like green wood. I think the turning is a perfect example. Just a sort of effortless removal and shaping of wood.
Live Edge Toothpicks.
Yeah,
go.
there's a whole
.com.
new. There you go. $12 down the drain.
Slabs to toothpicks.com.
So anyway, on the bed, instead of using going all the way down to live edge, I left the inner layer of the bark because as I was going, I'm like, this is beautiful. I cannot remove this.
Mhm.
I can't really explain it. It's a post over on my Instagram with a picture of it, but it's just like, it's like grain
I'm
almost.
telling you, it looks like Damascus steel.
I'm gonna look now.
I guess
It's
that
awesome.
is the best. I don't know way to describe it, but it just looks like really cool wood grain on the edge of a board.
It's the artisanal way of describing it.
There you go. It's very artisanal. I don't know. I
Damascus
just
steel.
I absolutely love the look, so I'm gonna go with that.
Oh,
as
dude,
the,
I'm looking at that now. Holy smokes! It looks like a snake skin or
Yeah,
like
there
a
you
snake skin
go, yeah.
pattern. That's fantastic.
So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna leave that on the live edge. It's gonna be up on the headboard and the footboard, and the one that I showed in the picture there, that's gonna be the bottom of the rails, which you're not going to see it. So that's why I kind of did that one first to kind of get an idea of what's going to look like.
How deep do you expect that layer to be? Like, could you accidentally go a little too far and go through?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like about 16th.
Okay, so you got to be real careful.
Yeah. Like you'll hit it. You'll start hitting it around 1/8 of an inch left of bark, and then you kind of really get it looking pretty good around 16th. And it's actually pretty firm or pretty hard for being bark still.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too worried about it denting, especially once I guess like coat of finish on there. It should harden up a little bit too. But it actually, I think it'll be pretty durable. And then after I go over with the draw knife, it's a little bit rough of a texture, like because you have all the facets from the draw knife. I still go over really lightly with the Scotch-Brite on the grinder, and that kind of evens things out and kind of smooths it out. But oh man, I'm really like this bed project is, like I said in the beginning, this is like my experimentation project of things. I'm just gonna do kinds of weird stuff and just do whatever I want, see how it works. I'll learn something good or bad. This is shaping up pretty good so far, I have to say.
That's good. It's nice when you're rewarded for that. I mean, it's good to learn lessons when you screw up, but it's a lot more fun when things work out.
Right.
Nice.
Stupid lesson. Now
Right?
I got to start over.
Seriously.
Right on.
Awesome.
Well, it's great that you're like not doing metalworking anymore.
Oh man, I have to tell you about that too. It is, I don't know how to describe it. I know my true passion is definitely not
Not
steel
metal,
fabrication.
not blacksmithing.
It is not.
Nice. I'm putting you guys on Instagram right now.
Oh, hello.
There we go. You're part of my
Means
story.
forever.
I went to look at Matt's picture, and then I got totally distracted with my own BS.
Seriously.
So there you go.
It's so meta. You're like doing a show within a show right
Hold
now.
on,
It's
guys.
terrible.
I'm doing social.
Oh wait, should I be live streaming this right now?
Yeah, actually, why not? We should all do our own live stream, and people can put all of them together if they want to.
Let's not even joke about that. That's like the next layer.
It is.
As big as live is right now. Now it's going to be live streaming of live. Like the what do you call it? The DVD extras in a
Right.
movie.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to be the live stream extras thing.
Well, like in the early days of DVD, when a few, well, let's just say they're a little unsavory. A few unsavory titles would offer multiple video angles. Do you remember when they did that
Yes.
initially,
Yes.
right? And it was like a gimmicky thing that just never caught on, but you could actually watch the production from a different angle.
Right.
So
Why is nobody looking at the camera? What's going on?
yeah, so kind of crazy. All right, Shannon, what do you got going on?
Oh, I've been a slacker. I gotta say, hanging out with you guys makes me feel inadequate. That's all I can say.
Well, I mean,
Mark's finishing. I was so proud of the fact that I finished, my project like in, the second week of January. Mark's now built a trestle table. And, Matt's sawn up an entire forest into boards.
that's all right.
And
He's actually
building a bed.
getting a fine from the federal government.
Right. And I started working
Deforestation.
on this simple little 8-hour Ramtang project 4 weeks ago, and I just finished it.
Hey, you get some slack, dude. You've got a day job.
Yeah.
This is our day job.
But it's cool. I had a chance to break it in and use it last night, but I really almost screwed the pooch on this Ramtang.
Really?
And if you're not familiar with it, it's think of a Moxon vise. So you've got, a moving jaw that clamps things in place. The Ramtang's the same, but it's just a very low profile thing. So the front jaw is actually fixed. It's glued into the little cross pieces, the arms or the rails that the jaw slides on. The back jaw is free to slide backwards and forwards, and it's held in place with wedges. But to glue the arms into the fixed jaw, you have to thread the moving jaw onto the arms first. I forgot to do that. So, and I built the whole thing out of teak, and I've used many different glues on teak, but there's always that you might want to use epoxy because the oil, and it's like, yeah, I could probably get away with PVA, but why mess with it? I have epoxy, so let's just go ahead and use epoxy. So it's fine. I mixed up my epoxy, got it into the through mortises, and I thread the arms in place, and I was kind of stepping back, and I actually. This will show you how bad social is for us. I actually stepped back to take a picture of it to put on Instagram. And as I was stepping back looking at it, I'm thinking, something looks wrong
What's
here.
wrong with this picture?
And then it was just like, oh, bleep. It's just string of expletives because I was like, oh man, thank goodness it's West Systems. So the working time is huge. But here's the problem. It's a through mortise, and the jaw has to slide up and down that arm. So you've already got epoxy on the part that you now have to thread the part over. So I'm whipping out the mineral spirits and like trying to wipe down the epoxy and clean the thing off as much as possible so I can thread the little arm, the moving arm back over top of it, and then put the epoxy back in place. And even then it was starting to get a little viscous on me. I was just like, oh man. So finally what I did is I put blue tape on the through mortise side, the exposed side, and just poured epoxy into the holes and just kind of shoved it in and let it spooge up around the edges.
There's that word again.
There you go.
Needless to
Now
say,
I'm listening.
Yeah, we're
kinda
awake
like
now.
when you employ a wipe on an oil finish and you have to come back periodically and wipe off the excess, I was just periodically coming back and making sure the jaw would still move, in case it started to stick. Let's break that bond a little bit. So literally, I mean, it's amazing how long West Systems actually takes to set up, which is a really good thing. But when you finally get it in place and you just want the damn thing to set up, it's like, come on now. So yeah, it was on and off for about 6 hours before I finally felt comfortable just leaving it alone. And it was all, I dodged the bullet there, but yeah, it was not good because that would have been truly an unrecoverable incident. I would have had to like cut apart the thing and start all over and rebuild new arms and rechop mortises in order to make it work.
Well, that's one of those where you like immediately just leave the shop, turn the lights off, and walk away. It's like I'm not even gonna. I want to go watch TV.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, but despite the fact that I had to glue the thing up twice, I still had a bunch of epoxy left over. I tell you, man, West Systems is great, but because you have to use the full push of the pump, and I don't trust myself to go, oh, is that a half pump?
Right.
I still end up with so much epoxy left over. So I ended up like painting the end grain with epoxy, and it's just like
you find
extra
stupid things
epoxy?
to do
What
with it,
can I-
right?
What can I glue something to? It's terrible.
Yeah.
How much
At least-
epoxy ends up just hardening in the Dixie cup.
I leave stuff out just so I can like do like repairs with extra epoxy, like a bowl
Yeah.
that cracked when it was drying. I'll drop some of the extra epoxy in this crack here or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what else are you gonna do with it?
That's
Let it
smart.
sit up in the cup?
Yeah, that's true.
You should get
That-
you should get molds, and you can like I don't know, make little figures out of them or something.
There we go.
Just keep
Fake
those
gummy
around.
bears,
That's right.
teeth breakers.
Yeah, give them to your kids. It'll be fun. Right?
Nice.
I'll send some to your kids too.
Oh yeah, they love them. They chew on epoxy all the time. All right, let's get into what's new. Shannon, you want to take the first one here?
Yeah, it's actually very appropriate because one of the reasons I screwed up my glue up is because I was listening to the Modern Maker podcast. It's a new podcast. They actually just released episode 4 last week. Very cool. But if you do nothing, go and check out episode 3. They have a great conversation on form versus function. And at first it may seem a bit like a tired topic, but they had some really interesting points that came out of it. So you got to check it out. Modern Maker podcast. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. I have to add that to my growing list. Just keeps getting longer.
A list of podcasts that you subscribe to but don't actually listen.
That's right. I like to keep active subscriptions so they get credit for it. I just don't listen to it. Okay, let's see. So the next one here is from Wilbur. I also had somebody on Twitter send this to me. He says a trestle table for Mark, a live edge table for Matt, and a video with contrasting woods for Shannon. Fantastic build. And this is just a gorgeous trestle table, timely, because it's actually it's similar if you were to stand from like 30 feet away and look at it. It's kind of similar to the one that I built, but way, way better than mine. And this guy just does a killer job on it. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's one of those quiet sort of just enjoy the craftsmanship and watch this whole thing come together. And funny, the guy on Twitter, Jonathan, tweeted at me and sent me the video. He goes, I mean, yeah, it looks nice, but where's the dimpling? so I had to reply. I said, amateur. But yeah, it's really good. Well, we'll embed that in the show notes. Go check it out.
I like this
Dang.
dovetail wedge thing for the through tenon.
It's nice.
That's slick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's doing.
That is one of those channels that I do subscribe to and watch the
Yeah.
videos.
I actually didn't subscribe until that point, but I am now. Yeah, really good stuff. All right, kickback. So we've got a 3-minute voicemail. You guys know how I feel about those, but this one is telling a story, so I figured it's good, and it gives me an opportunity to finish my donut. So let's have a listen.
Hi, Mark, Matt, and Shannon. This is Josh from Alabama again. I got a little kickback for you, or really just a couple interesting, funny stories for you I thought you might like to know. Stories about how your co-host there, Mark Spagnolo, stole money from my pocket and almost kept me from getting into woodworking and almost ended a 20-year friendship with a good friend of mine. And how it happened is,
Oops.
2 years ago, I'm a guitar player, and I always wanted to build my own guitar. And so I got the stuff and finally started doing that. Well, in the process of building this guitar, my mother had seen an end-grain cutting board and wanted to know if I could build her one. And my buddy at the time had already been into woodworking for a little bit, and I asked him if he knew how to build one, how to go about it. And he recommended a good video on it by this guy named The Wood Whisperer. So I went home and I got on YouTube and I checked it out. And I just typed in The Wood Whisperer instead of the cutting board. And at this time, one of Mark's newer videos was the one where he described him building I think it was the Babinga and Wengi bed that he made. So that was the video I clicked on. I just wanted to see what his videos are like. And the first thing I see, of course, is this dude in drag fixing to talk to me about woodworking. So I called my friend back, and I really had to question my relationship with this friend now after 20 years. Saying, this is the cat you wanted me to learn how to build from. So anyway, fast forward a few years to this past Christmas. We get our Christmas bonuses at work, and they're a good bit shorter than what they usually have been the past few years. And a few days later, I'm on YouTube again, and I come across Mark's Honda videos, which, by the way, I work at Honda Manufacturing in Alabama, which is where the Honda Ridgeline is built. I build these. And so I'm like, oh, my God. So I go back to work, and I tell all the guys I work with, I say, guys, I know where our money went. The Wood Whisperer got it. So there you go. Just a couple little short, funny stories for you that Mark almost kept me from getting into woodworking and ruined a 20-year friendship. And he stole beer money from about 4,000 rednecks. So hope you're happy, Mark. But in all seriousness, guys, I love the show. I've only been listening about a month now. I absolutely love the show. Y'all do great stuff. And I just want to end with a question for Shannon. Since Mark is sold out now and Matt has technically sold out now, what company or what product would have to come along for you to accept the big check? Thanks, guys. I love what you do.
I'm glad that he's been listening for a month and he totally gets us already.
Seriously. And well delivered punchline at the end. Stealing beer from rednecks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry guys. A man's got to do what he's got to do, right? I guess, that is a bit of a liability having that video out there, thinking that someone may come across that as the first video they see. I'm probably not going to get a lot of repeat views from that. But, I got to say, totally worth it. I do it over again. That's true, but maybe not the right kind of views.
In regards to his question, I love the fact that he thinks that I'm very discerning.
I was about to say, which manufacturer would he take the big check from? Any of them.
Basically the first one to show up to offer to give me a check.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who is specializing in a niche within a niche within a niche, So, all 30 of my followers will probably buy whatever they endorse. So that's my sales pitch to that manufacturer.
There you go.
If you want a quick 30 sales, there you go. That's what you can do.
Well, and just over the years, we've dealt with advertising, and there's no reason why we can't take on hand tool specific advertisements in this show. I think they would do very well, but notoriously, they
don't have any money to spend.
They don't have the budget, and they just don't bother with it. And let alone, if they do anything, they'll probably do like a magazine ad or something, but they don't really advertise on podcasts. So it's got to be a tough road for someone
I
like
mean,
Shannon.
I have been approached in the past by things that just don't make sense.
Right.
Like the minute that I start endorsing a power tool on my show, I might as well just hang it up.
What about a
you know?
Lisa mattress? Would you do a mattress ad?
I don't know. Only if I could do a video in drag.
Yeah.
'Cause I hear that works well.
You want a bed ad? How about this?
Yeah. I mean, but even a mattress, I mean, it's got to have some relevance, you know? I mean, you talk about a way to just end your career in this business, to just come out with something that has absolutely no relevance whatsoever. So
Yeah,
there you
but
go.
not necessarily. A lot of people are doing that. I mean, I think the audience
Not a
has
lot of
become
people, Mark.
more. Shut up. I think the audience has become more tolerant of it. I still don't love it, and when we do it, I feel dirty, and I really do want to just keep our, sponsorships and advertisements on target. But we just got an offer again multiple times. We've got an offer from like these bed in a box manufacturers. And just like Nicole's like, I do need a bed. We need a bed for downstairs for when your mom stays. I'm like, but I don't want to do a mattress commercial. It's just not.
Right.
It's not my thing. But what I'm saying is a lot of folks are doing that, and I think the audience is probably a little more tolerant of it than maybe in the past.
Well, the way I look at it, and we're kind of getting off topic. Well, not really, but the way I look at it is I have another revenue stream.
Mm-hmm.
I have the hand tool school. If I didn't have that, I might feel a little bit more, hey,
it's a different story.
What were we just saying earlier? Don't hate the
player, hate the game.
Well, for instance, I got approached by, and I'm sure you guys probably got the same email. Lots of people got it, like a garage storage type thing. And it's okay, well, I work in a garage. But it's an overhead thing, and my ceilings are 7 to 8 feet tall. If I put overhead storage in, I'm 6'4", people.
Yeah,
Not
you're gonna have a
good
problem.
idea. So it just doesn't make
That
sense.
was my same response to that one.
Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, somebody wants to come along with a big enough check, I will sell out
In a heartbeat.
in seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Next kickback comes
money.
from
Kia
Nick.
money.
You want some
Hugo
Kia money? Toyota money? There's plenty of car
Tesla
money.
money. I'll take Tesla money.
Oh, I'd take that too. We're looking at solar panels. I could use a little sponsorship there. Those are expensive.
Yeah, I could find some relevance to that. The hand tool shop needs to be solar powered.
Mm-hmm.
We could go off the grid because all I got to do is power my Bluetooth radio,
That's right. Get yourself a little battery in there. You'll be fine.
or
Some
more
skylights or
appropriately,
something.
the charger for my Bluetooth radio.
Right. All right. So Nick wrote in. He says, "Hey Mark, I know from a few episodes back you hate Sir Slabs a lot, Cremona, but have you ever considered adding him to the podcast description?" Only kidding, of course. Keep up the great work. All right. So here's the deal. I'll make everyone a deal. I will change the podcast description, and I think what he's talking about is like the iTunes description that's in the feed. I will change that when I get Cremona's bio, and I'm waiting on him. I'm waiting on him for the bio. So when he gives that to me,
I thought we decided that I'm the man who needs no introduction.
that's right. maybe that is what it is. But I'm
Maybe
actually
I should do that this week.
I'm doing it just because I want to delay it and be lazy as well. So when I get that from Mr. Cremona, then you guys will get the updated description.
I think that now I've been on the show for a little over a year. I think we're probably good to add that now.
You think? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think I've probably established what I'm doing with my life well enough now to write some kind of short descriptive bio that's
There you
relevant
go.
to the listeners.
Yeah, just take 30 seconds, get it done. All right, let's move into our voicemail. So AJ called in, and let me switch to it because I don't have my normal thing going here. There it is.
Hello, guys. Shannon, Matt, and Mark with a C. This is AJ
You gotta put me
from
last.
New England Woodworking Studio. I apologize you haven't heard from me in a while, but I'm moving into my first commercial space, and it's very exciting. So I've been very busy, and I also got obsessed with this true crime podcast called Sword and Scale, and I've listened to every single episode just like I did you guys when I found you. Anyway, my question. I got a really good deal on these cabinet boxes. They're cheap. They're covered in white melamine, whatever, and there's no fronts. So I'm going to use them as small one-tool cabinet, put some drawers in them, and all that jazz. My question is, can I veneer over the melamine plastic stuff that's already on these cabinets? Will that work? Am I crazy? What do you think? Can I pull the stuff off and then veneer on it? I think I probably could, but that would suck. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought about that, if I'm just being stupid and stuck up, or if this is something that could work. So, guys, thank you very much. And, yeah, have a great show.
All right. Well, we do think you're crazy, AJ, but that's got nothing to do with your question.
We don't use the word stuck up here, though. We prefer elitist.
Elitist, yes. Elitist marketer is actually the term we like to throw around. So with something like this, to me, the obvious thing that jumps out is, yeah, you can do this. He would probably want to use a paper-backed veneer and contact cement to pull this off, because we're not talking about a porous material on the surface. So as long as that previous layer, the melamine or whatever's on there, is stable, you guys see any reason why that technique isn't going to work?
I've done it before. When I built my router table.
Mm-hmm.
That takes you back. It was it was contact cement, and it was just I had constructed the whole thing out of melamine because it was nice and flat and everything, and I not only glued veneer to the top surface, but I also glued 2 melamine panels together to make a thicker top.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, shoot.
With contact cement between them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And that was 8 years, I guess,
What a
before
rebel.
I finally sold the thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it worked fine.
Cool.
Yeah, I think the thing you have to worry about is the melamine coming away from the particle board, which I don't think will ever happen because there's some sort of like space age
Industrial
molecular
strength
bonding
Yeah.
thing that they do there.
Yeah. Well, it's not my favorite way to go about veneering something, I think, but it's not the ideal situation, but it could certainly work. Yeah. Okay. If you want to leave us a voicemail, you can do one just like AJ did and some of the kickback we had earlier. Just call us on Skype. Wood Talk Online is the username, or you can call us at 623-242-5180. And now we are getting into our email. Oh, Shannon, I meant to ask you, do you have any kind of update, like lumber industry stuff?
This week? Probably not.
No? Okay, we'll save it for next week then.
Yeah, I can come up with something.
Okay, that sounds good.
See, well, like I said last week,
I'll make something up.
Try not to be negative on everything, and all
Yeah.
the lumber news lately is negative, so I don't want to talk about that.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Okie dokie. Where are we? Emails. Okay. So this is kind of I cherry picked on this one. I think I am going to incompletely answer 2 questions instead of answering one completely. I think that's okay.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the guys asked a 2-parter, and I don't want to answer the first one, but I do want to answer the second one. All right. So I'm being very picky about this. So Ron wrote in and he said, we're going to pretend he didn't say anything before this. He says, but he goes, to add to the big static discharge or static charge debate, is a ground wire along the whole run really worth the effort? I've heard so many stories, positive and negative, regarding a small shop. Thanks, guys. Keep up the great podcast. The reason I want to bring this up is not because I have any, really deep scientific knowledge of static electricity and how, whether it's even effective to wrap these things in metal and try to actually ground a plastic pipe. But I was watching Jay Bates' video on his dust collection and all the sort of just hullabaloo, let's call it that came about when he was just showing this plastic setup. I think he was using like 6-inch sewer and drain pipe for a Clearview system. Pretty standard stuff. But I think we're so far now into this whole maker movement and this era of, let's see, things don't exist or things haven't like that existed before YouTube started. That part of history is like just gone, right? So if it didn't happen on YouTube, it must not have happened, right? So, so when you're looking at what some of these people are saying in the comments, it's so clear to me that the extent of their research and knowledge is YouTube. So if it isn't on YouTube, they don't know about it. And what happens here, and I guess this used to happen in forums too, specifically with this topic, is so many people are basically like telling Jay that he's going to burn his house down. There's going to be an explosion. These plastic pipes, the static is going to discharge, and there's going to be a fire. So I just want to throw, my opinion in this, behind Jay and to support what he said, that there is really no risk. And the way I look at this is something similar might be like the boiled linseed oil rag exothermic reaction, risk that you run if you just bundle up the rag of oil and put it over in a corner. That's a real risk. And if you look around, you'll not only find stories and news articles and just like there's so many documented cases of things burning down because someone left a oily rag bundled up someplace, right? That is a very...
Lots of pictures of burned up wood shops.
Yeah, this happens. Now, if anyone within range of my voice right now, if you have a story of a home shop dust collector exploding, I would love to see it. And in all the years that I've been doing this, I have never seen a documented case. And everyone goes back to the grain silo analogy, that grain silos explode. There's such a concentration of dust particles in that environment that is not the same as running small amounts of dust through a dust collection system. It's a very different thing. And my point is, just by pure evidence of the number of people doing what we do with dust collectors, if no one that you can think of or anyone can document has had an explosion, I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine. Just empirical evidence says it's not an issue. And then there are also some, more science-based reasons why it's ineffective to do that whole grounding process on a plastic pipe. It really just comes down to a comfort thing. If you get zapped once in a while because you're in a really dry environment and there's a high static, you get zapped once in a while, you might want to try something to help dissipate that, or better yet, just keep the pipe out of arm's reach, so you don't accidentally bump into it all the time. So anyway, I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that. Because it is like, I can't believe at this point we still have people saying this, and none of them are saying it because they actually know anything about it. They're just saying it because they probably heard something at some point, and they think that he's supposed to be doing that. Okay, off my soapbox there. So Harvey also wrote in, and he was typing in a Jewish accent, which was fantastic. And then he accidentally hit the enter button. So he says, "Oi, I can't believe I hit enter," and had to add this as another question. So, you guys talk a lot about wood movement and climate humidity change from one locale to another. What do the big furniture manufacturers do when they ship their furniture all over the country? And I actually think this is a really interesting question. I thought I'd actually bring you guys into this as well, because I have seen some of that where you think, like, okay, well, why aren't they having the same kind of problems that we have? Well, number one, a lot of times they're using materials that aren't solid wood. So depending on what you're building, you may think, a lot of people think they have solid wood furniture, and the truth is it's just a veneered sheet good, so they don't. Now, if you do have solid wood furniture, I think you are still going to have the same sort of risks. But my guess with this, and why this isn't such a huge issue, is we stress about it because we're micromanaging our project, right? But what we're also doing is building our projects with movement in mind. So we do want to avoid extreme changes in humidity and just general conditions. We want to avoid that as much as possible. But should it happen, if you've built that piece properly, it should be okay because you've allowed for that movement. So the piece isn't going to be under some level of stress to cause problems. So my guess is that's probably what happens here. Either they're not using solid wood, or if they are, they've built it properly. So it's going to be more stable, and they started with stable, clean material to begin with. So it's a little more than if we just go pick a couple boards off a stack. Maybe the ones we picked actually have a lot of, case hardening, or there's something inherently wrong with the board that it's going to warp on us. Their process is, their throughput is very fast, and their material just might be more stable to begin with. So I'm curious, have you guys ever had a manufactured piece of furniture just go haywire on you because of expansion, contraction issues?
I'm trying to think if I have any solid wood furniture that I didn't build.
Yeah, maybe that's the better question, too. I feel the same way.
I don't think I have any.
And a lot of times if it is solid wood, kind of like what we might do, it might just be the legs of something that's solid wood, or the face frame that's solid wood, and everything else is
that's what I'm
sheet goods.
trying to think about. I've got a china cabinet that I inherited. But I mean, it's case construction. I mean, there's not really, the wood movement issues are taken care of.
Yeah.
Because it was built properly. I've got a solid wood dining table, but I mean, the substructure is really the only thing to worry about, and it's mortise and tenon. There's really not a lot to screw up there when it comes to wood movement.
Right.
And the top is attached with figure eights. That's what those things are called.
You're right.
These things. Figure eights.
Jazz hands.
Yeah. Nice. Yes. Furniture jazz hands.
Yeah.
I have so many of the other commercial pieces of furniture are sheet good based.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my kitchen cabinets, they're frame and panel with actually, I'm not certain. I'm pretty sure it's a sheet good panel. So yeah.
Well, and I think you take a manufactured piece that is solid wood and you expose it to an extreme, it probably will react poorly. I mean, another example is floors. You know, there are some flooring situations that as woodworkers we look at and we go, well, how is that even possible? How are they allowed to make this like monolithic floating layer that isn't just expanding and pushing the walls out? Well, there is movement allowed in there, but in spite of that, because of the changing conditions in homes, you do have buckling. You do have things going on if those rules aren't, obeyed. So I think the same thing could happen with solid wood furniture, but it is built properly. So, and you also are not exposing it to extreme changes. You know, even if you move, a lot of times.
I think this whole conversation serves to underscore the fact that we tend to stress too much about wood movement.
Oh yeah.
We tend to think that it's like moving a foot. And the fact of the matter is it doesn't take a lot to build it properly so that, you may end up with a cross-grained situation that will be okay because it's only going to move a 32nd of an inch,
right?
Because of the percentage, because of the width of the board or whatever. And sometimes you can just ignore it. There are other times when you go to museums, granted, they've been kept in climate-controlled environments, but they're not in like stasis.
Yeah,
it's not hermetically sealed and shipped on a generation starship out to Alpha Centauri. It's, I don't know where that just came from. I guess
your inner
too
geek.
Too much sci-fi lately. But like, you go to the Smithsonian, go to the DeWitt Wallace Museum in Williamsburg, and you can look at this old school 18th century furniture where the top is attached to the base by through pegs. It's literally stuck and frozen in place. And occasionally you'll see a crack on like a wide case side, but a lot of times it's just fine. It's structurally sound and it's been sitting in that museum air conditioned environment, which is basically what all of furniture sits in, is our climate controlled environment. So I don't know. I think so much of the time the whole thing gets overstated. Don't ignore it, obviously, but don't let it ruin your lives, people.
Yeah, build for
Live
it.
your lives.
Build for it, but don't stress about it that much.
Yeah.
Okay, Matt, you haven't talked very much today. You should talk now.
Oh boy. Let's leave a quick question too. When milling lumber, how flat is flat enough at the jointer? Does the face of the board need to be smooth as the baby's bottom or hairy like Mark's before taking the board to the planer? Or is the occasional low spot acceptable? This is from Eric. So I don't actually joint all the way till it's flat because it's just easier to have the planer do most of the work for you because that thing has auto feed. So as long as the board is pretty much stable, it's not gonna be rocking around. You got the distortion out of the board, but maybe you still have some mill marks on there from the rough saw. Go for it. Most of the time when I'm milling anyway, I usually mill in a few different sessions, so my first milling is gonna be pretty rough anyway. I don't even bother cleaning up all the rough saw faces anyway, so. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just get it stable enough to go through there without the planer deforming it, and you should be good to go.
And I think that way you're going to retain more thickness as well. Yeah. I think if you just kind of keep working that one side just to get it dead flat, you may wind up ending up with a thinner board when it's all said and done than if you do what you're suggesting. Cool beans. That was a short one, man.
Like
what
that?
You guys said.
That was good. Nice, concise answer. Very well done.
Let's see what Shannon does.
Oh boy.
I know. I wish I had another donut.
This comes from Jason Christensen over on our Patreon page. He's looking at getting a first set of chisels. We all know Mark is a fan of crazy expensive chisels.
Whoa.
He immediately throws Mark under the bus.
Whoa. I have budget-friendly chisels and expensive chisels, and it isn't that I like expensive chisels. I like good chisels, and good chisels happen to be expensive. So let's make sure we label this properly.
Okay. We all know Mark is a fan of crazy expensive chisels, and that wasn't enough, and he had to buy a whole second set of chisels.
I have 3 sets. Give me a break.
But I love that it even gets better. But what do normal people start off with?
What? Why is this crap on Mark Day? Come on now.
Mark, you're so out of touch.
I know.
So far
I'm not
reality.
Look, when you have this
Seriously,
much Honda
stop
money,
stealing beer money from rednecks.
I'm telling you, got to do what you got to do,
All
folks.
So if we look at the extents here, on the bottom end, we have Marple's chisels, are what Nicole would open paint cans with.
Yep.
On the other end are the Japanese chisels. What about Wood River? What about Narex? Others. Need to start off something decent and affordable, but don't want to waste my money. Okay, I will. I've changed my opinion on this over the years. I don't have a complete set, but I have a nice selection of Lee Nielsen chisels. I also have a couple of blue spruce chisels.
Ooh.
They are fantastic, fantastic stuff. I've used some Japanese chisels before. Awesome, really, really nice. And I back up what Mark said. High quality stuff is expensive. However, in recent years, I've actually come to find that I much prefer vintage chisels. There's a lot of little things like, the Lee Nielsen chisel, the very narrow flats on the side of the bevel edge chisels. That's nice when you're in there working in dovetails and things like that. But I also don't find that it's necessarily that big of an advantage. I'm very rarely cutting out waste in that acute corner of a dovetail. Saw it properly, and that won't happen. Now that was an
Elitist.
But what I have found is the more mellow steel of vintage chisels, it sharpens easier, sharpens faster. I like the feel of it when it cuts over some of the fancy cryogenically chilled metallurgic wonder type things that are out there now. I actually compare it. I used a little bit of the Veritas PMV11 stuff, and it's similar. It's just got a more mellow feel when you're cutting with it. When you've got a sharp chisel, you've got a little bit more tangible response. Mm-hmm. But what's crazy is I have yet to meet a vintage beat up rusty chisel that with a little bit of work can't be restored into something. I've never said, oh man, this edge is terrible. Certainly there are outliers where somebody has burnt an edge and the steel has lost its temper. And you certainly have to watch out for that. But I've never really been in a situation where I'm like, boy, I wish this chisel was better quality. Now, I say that, and there's lots of people going, yeah, but there's a lot of work required. There's no doubt. And believe me, I hate restoring tools. That is the last thing in the world that I want to do. But I think with a little bit of screening, a little bit of pickiness on your part, there's certainly no lack of vintage chisels on the market. You have to be careful how much time you need to spend in flattening it back. But at the same time, I've heard the same thing about Wood River chisels. I've heard the same thing about Narex chisels. You talk to 10 people about Narex chisels, 5 of them will say I didn't have to do any flattening in the back, and the other 5 will say I took 3 hours to flatten the back. The same thing will happen with Wood River. They're good quality chisels, but I don't know. I think that we are overstating just how nice the chisel has to be. Mm-hmm. And if you're just starting out, I see no reason to necessarily go crazy on this. You hear people say all the time about how don't buy a set to start with, kind of buy the chisels that you need. I recommend 1/4, 3/8, and a 1-inch wide chisel to start with. They're good spectrum of your primary joinery and then a wider one for paring. Pick up a couple of vintage ones. If nothing else, maybe you're out $30. Mm-hmm. And then you can, over time, say, you know what? I like the socket as compared to this Tang style. I like Japanese as compared to Western style. And you've developed kind of an empirical working experience about why you feel that way. But it's crazy because I have a lot of very nice chisels, and invariably I will end up reaching for some 18th century Firmer chisel. And it's still my favorite chisel is this 1.5-inch wide, like long Firmer chisel. I don't know who made it. I think it's a Buck Brothers, maybe. I have no idea. But it cuts better than anything else I have. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's weird because I'm not normally a big like go vintage type guy. But when chisels, I just think we overstate the importance of some of the added features that the new market has assigned to chisels.
I've got a pretty large selection of chisels, and I think I need to pare it down. What do you think of that? I've been working on that for the last 5 minutes.
I think it's a bad idea.
I actually do have a lot of chisels. What I'm going to do, because I've got a nice new set of Narex chisels that need to just get a little tune up and test them out so I can give some opinions on them. But I actually do have quite a few chisel mismatches. And I think I'm in need of just kind of cleaning it up and giving away the ones I'm not using. So maybe, I don't know, maybe this, who is it, Jason? Maybe I could send you some of my old chisels. How about that?
There you go.
Maybe not.
Wow.
I might get
Nice.
greedy and then decide I just want them. Okay. So if you want to check out the extra show that we're about to record, $4 and higher patrons get access to that immediately after this show. If you can't get enough of us, you want a little bit more, that's a way to do it. And we got a question from our friend Dan here, and he wants to know what our least favorite species are to work with and why. So we're going to discuss that a little bit after we get done here. So if you want to support the show, you can, of course. I just mentioned Patreon. That's patreon.com/woodtalk. You could go to twwstore.com and pick up a Wood Talk t-shirt, or you could leave us a review in the iTunes store. Shannon, how about you give them that contact info, and we'll get out of here.
Fair enough. If you have comments, questions, and want specific grooming tips for trimming your butt hair, there are several ways that you can get those tips.
Have your wife do it.
Oh, there's one right there.
Oh, she must like it. She married it. It's her job now.
So that's why you get free donuts.
Oh, man. This is such a great show.
Hairy butt fetish in the Cremona house.
Mark started.
And there's a show title right there, Hairy Butt Fetish. So anyway, leave us a voicemail on Skype. Our username is Wood Talk Online. You can call us at 623-242-5180 or leave us a note, a text thingy via our fancy contact form. I don't know what to call it. Type.
What an old man.
That's what it is when you type things out.
How do I use this?
woodtalkshow.com/contact. Just go there and type stuff.
Okay, there you go.
First person who types stuff gets Mark's chisels.
Yay! All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Good luck getting the image out of your mind.
All right. They're stuck with it now. So you guys want to do the weekend show? I'll just keep the live broadcast going. We'll do the weekend show, and then we'll cut the live thing to do the email extra.
That's cool.
Give people a little extra something to distract them during the snowstorm or whatever.
In the bathroom like that.
Whatever they're doing.
Yep, still snowing.
What's the forecast for you guys? What do you expect?
12 inches, I think.
Ooh.
Somewhere in that range. Yeah, but it's the ice right now. It's nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what, stupid Kenny. He loves snow and he loves to, well, I mean, any dog, they love to just like go and like dig their nose in and
root through it.
he like bites at it, but there's this layer of ice over top of it. So it's like,
man.
yeah, his icy hot super slide in Blades of Glory there. He ended up cutting his teeth. So I'm watching and it's like, wait, what is that kind of pink thing over in the snow? And then it's like this huge blotch of blood in the snow. It's like,
no.
Dog, stop. And I like grabbed his mouth and I was like, sure enough, he like cut his gums. Like, you idiot.
What a goober.
Meanwhile, he's just like desperately trying to get back to the snow to bite more snow.
Yeah, he doesn't care. Okay, so I got to think
So
about this
that's-
question for a second. Overkill.
Yeah.
I
Questions
mean,
that make you go,
yeah, I don't know. Let me think about it. Try to find something specific. Oh, we'll wait for Cremona to piddle.
he's got to get rid of that donut he ate.
That's what it is. Maybe he's not peeing. Maybe he's going
Free donut dookie.
donut dookie. Oh, while we're here, show title for the
Good
first show.
band name.
Something about hairy butts, maybe.
Furry bottomed woodworking.
I like that.
Yeah. It's got a sampling of keywords.
There you go.
It's SEO friendly.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm gonna come back to the burps.
That's right. How was your poop?
If that was a poop, something's wrong with me.
I don't know. That's how Nicole goes. She goes in there. She's like a little rabbit. She drops a few little balls and then leaves.
Must be a woman's thing.
I don't know. It must be. I'm like, how is it possible for you to even have gone effectively in that time? Like, it's a whole process for me.
I have the same question with my wife.
Then I get to read and check email, and, it's a fun time in there.
Well, that's my relaxation time. That's my me time for the day.
Right? Until, like, you get a kid banging on the door, and it's like, help me, please. Like, this should be the one
Go away.
5-minute span of my day that I have to myself, and I've got little fingers poking under the door. Dad! All right.
Daddy.
And then my kids come and try to get me out of the bathroom. That's a joke. All right.
Wow.
All right. Okay.
She's feeling bad, and here you are talking about her bowel movements. and-
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, she's probably
It's
not.
terrible.
She's probably not going to hear this. She's got better things to do. All right, let me load the tracks. We're going to do the weekend show now, folks. This is a treat. We don't normally live broadcast this. Here we go.
Welcome to the Wood Talk Weekend Show. It's time to unbutton those pants, crack open a fresh grape soda, and let the soothing sounds of Mark, Shannon, and Matt caress your ear holes.
Yeah, baby. It's the Wood Talk Weekend
Pants
show.
are off.
Pants are coming off. I got my grape soda ready, though it looks like a coffee, actually. It is Wood Talk number 366 for March 17th, 2017. And on today's show, we're going to answer a question from a person named Paige. And Paige wrote in and asked us a pretty cool question we thought we'd ponder. And he says, when have you bought a tool that was way overkill for the task at hand, just because if you wanted the nicer one? For example, I'm planning to buy a Makita electric chainsaw, close neighbors, and I hate gasoline, for 2 to 3 times the cost of a common homeowner's saw that would work fine for maybe the 6 times that I use it over the next decade. So I'm sitting here thinking about this pre-show, and I can't find anything specific. And you know why? Because almost everything that I buy for the shop is more than I actually need. Right? I mean, could I get by with a less powerful table saw? Absolutely.
Lathe.
Like
It's the lathe.
well, okay, that's probably the best example of what I'm talking about. Even down to my truck. Do I need a truck that has as many horses as this one has? No, I can get away with something less, but I do overbuy it just about everything in my life. Absolutely.
As I'm looking at the 900 light LED, 3 LED panels hanging in the background there.
Well, that's just
Or
what
there's one
what
with a
you can
softbox
see.
over it.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a total of 5 now.
See, what the listeners don't know is I texted Mark and Matt a while ago and said, you know what, I'm finally going to jump into this LED panel thing. Mark peppers me with questions for a week, and I finally go, you know what, I really like the LED panel thing. Suddenly, Mark has 12 of them that are 7 times the size of the LED panel that I bought.
Yeah,
So it's not a matter of overkill for Mark. It's just about showing people off. That's
it's
what it
keeping
comes
up with the
down to.
Joneses. Yeah, I mean, it's what you got to do. But I mean, seriously, and if I'm being honest with myself, this is what I do. I have a TV that's way bigger than it needs to be. I could see a smaller TV, but I wanted the bigger TV. I like things big. I don't even live in Texas, and I want things to be big.
So what he's saying, people, is he's compensating.
I must be, right?
Sounds-
I didn't need a full arm of tattoo. I could have just had a spot, but I had to get a full arm done.
Oh, that's the best one. That's the best one so far.
So, I mean, you guys, the same thing. Matt, you've got a giant jointer. Now, it's handy. You use it. It's
Yeah.
very helpful to have, but could you get by with a smaller one?
Yeah, I mean, there's techniques that I use all the time for jointing stuff wider than my 12-inch jointer, because I do that actually a lot more commonly than I thought I would when I bought the 12-inch jointer.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, oh, this should be good for anything I could ever want to joint. I don't know how many times I have to joint stuff wider than that still. So yeah, I could do an 8-inch or a 6-inch and just use the same techniques that I use now for jointing stuff that's 14 inches wide or whatever.
Right.
I got
Just
the same thing.
Convenience.
Got a 20-inch planer in a hand tool shop.
Right.
go.
Right. Well, and how about maybe not
but
a specific tool, but how about how many saws you have? The quantity of saws you have. Do you need all those? You're going to say yes. Of course I do.
If one gets dull, you can swap to the next one.
That's right.
You see, the funny thing about the hand tool thing is I actually don't think I have that many. Because when I look around and I see most of the people on the internet that have boxes and boxes of hand planes and saws. Now, granted, none of them are tuned up and restored, and it's always I got to get to that someday. My tool set at least is optimized now. So, I have a lot of saws, but I actually can say I use just about all of them. Back saws, maybe not so much. I've got a bunch of ancillary back saws, and some of that is because manufacturers have sent them to me. But yeah, I don't have that many hand planes. But go to, the Unplugged Woodworker Facebook group, and there's guys with walls of hand planes. So yeah, I don't feel that bad.
But could you get by with less?
Yeah, I could.
Okay.
Absolutely. I definitely don't need the 36-inch Scott Meek joiner plane that I own.
Right.
But it was really useful when it came to jointing the sides of that bed that I made. So yeah, that made sense. But just like I just forgot who asked the question. Like our chainsaw guy, who will maybe use that chainsaw 6 times over the next 5 years. I will probably use that 36-inch joiner 6 times over the next 5 years, but man, it's good at its job when I need it. You know, it's like my 20-inch planer. I figured, kind of like Mark, like you're saying, you know, if I'm gonna go, I'm at the point in my woodworking where I knew that I wanted to have a planer. I've worked without a planer for a while. I don't need to prove that I can flatten boards anymore. If I'm gonna buy one, hey, go big or go home, you know.
Yeah.
20 inches, why not?
I think this is the byproduct of prosperity. You know, when you have a choice and you have a budget to get something a little bit nicer, yes, you could do without it, but does this make it more fun? Does it make it more interesting? Does it give you better results? If those things are all there, you check those off the list, then that's why you do that. And I guess, you know, if it's not in the budget, then you don't.
Well, I mean, from a slightly different perspective, like getting tool overkill when I really didn't need it. I mean, there's like buying a bigger capacity tool. That's one thing, but I have a sliding dovetail plane. It was made by Phil Edwards of Philly Planes over in the UK. Totally unnecessary. Like,
yeah.
I've been cutting sliding dovetails for years without a sliding dovetail plane, but it was like, you know what? That would be cool. And that's really the whole reason I have it.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And it works great, but it's like, it's actually less efficient than the way I was cutting sliding dovetails before. It's cool and it's fun, but I could cut them faster if I just used the saw and the chisel like I was doing before.
Right.
So there's a good example of tool overkill. Not only is it tool overkill, it's tool unnecessary kill.
Yeah. I'll give you one very specific one. The new Concepts coping saw.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
Yes.
A coping saw.
The coping saw. The
Yeah.
front saw I'll fight you on.
Okay.
That one's necessary.
Okay.
Coping saw, totally unnecessary.
Yeah, for the amount that it gets used and what it gets used for, the amount of quality and engineering that's built into that saw is 1,000% unnecessary. But
it's cool.
It's so cool looking. So, Matt, do you have any specifics that you could think about?
My number 4 bronze, I would say, is totally unnecessary and overkill because I had a vintage number 4 that works absolutely fine that I've used for years. Number 4 just feels, the bronze is, you know, it feels so much better. I think all my Lee Nielsen purchases have been that way. They've all replaced vintage tools that I already have that already work fine, but there's just something about that Lee Nielsen where you're like, I've made it.
You just feel good using it. You look good using it too.
I'm actually like seriously contemplating for real replacing my number 8 with Lee Nielsen. Just because, for no reason other than, I don't know, maybe it feels a little bit nicer. Maybe the adjustment's a little smoother because it's not made to a little bit nicer standards than the one I have right now. But they would functionally exactly the same.
Yeah.
See, I feel like Lee Nielsen actually, I mean, maybe it's the thickness of the blade, maybe it's just the more modern manufacture of it. I feel like they actually work a little bit better than even a highly tuned vintage.
Maybe they do, but it's very marginal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it might be a very small difference.
But I'm in the same boat as you, Matt. I have a number 2 Stanley that I've tuned up. It works fantastic. I'm actually contemplating replacing it with a number 2. The worst part is the number 2 is quite expensive. I actually would have saved money if I'd bought the Lee Nielsen one. How stupid is that?
I was going to say.
I mean, those are like $280, $300 on the vintage market, and I think Lee Nielsen sells it for like $275.
Oh man,
those have even more collector value to them. That's why.
But you know, you could go. Gosh, you want to talk elitist when you say your Lee Nielsen number 4 is the plane that you've replaced with a more. I've got a couple of smoothers that it's like, yeah, I didn't really need that because my Lee Nielsen number 4 does all the work. You know, I have a gorgeous Scott Meek smoother that is fantastic, but I also have a Veritas one with like a 38-degree bevel up blade that there is no wood that is so figured that I need that plane to do it.
Yeah.
My Lee Nielsen number 4 does a great job of controlling tear out on that, you know, and if it doesn't, my card scraper does. I don't need that, you know, heavily dense Veritas thing with a higher angle blade to cure my tear out issues.
Right.
But it's cool, you know.
I've got a good example right here in my hand. Those who are watching live can see it. This is a Elkhead Tools Phillips head screwdriver. This is a $95 screwdriver. How's that?
More now because it's got a Coco Blow handle.
That's true, right?
That CITES protected.
Yeah.
Now, so.
This was not something I purchased. This was a gift from Elkhead Tools. It is an absolute work of art, but it's a flipping screwdriver that costs $95.
Yep. I have the same set, and full disclaimer, it was a gift, but I also have a Mesquite handled one that was not a gift.
Okay.
I went back because I liked the screwdriver so much, and I needed a smaller one. So I went back and bought one.
I mean, I got to say, when I reach for a screwdriver, this is the one I'm going for. I mean, it feels, it's like, and it's so stupid because of what the operation actually is. It's just a screwdriver. Right. But if you're going to pay this much money, it sure as hell better be like the most amazing thing to hold in your hand. The balance is great. Just the contour of this handle is absolutely perfect. And it's stunning to look at. So that's all there, but it's still a $95 screwdriver, doing the job of what a free screwdriver that you found in the gutter would be able to do just as well.
Right. Kind of like thread taps, you know.
Just like thread taps. You can any thread tap,
just a set.
Any thread tap will do from Harbor Freight.
$12.
I totally agree.
Korea somewhere.
You're absolutely right.
You could buy the Wood Whisperer thread tap
for $130.
I'm so glad it was you who went there. And not
Please join us in creating excess for no reason. I like that.
But you know what? I mean, that's the defining element of being a hobbyist.
Yeah.
I think, and even though a substantial part of my income comes from this, that's fine. I'm still not making furniture for a living. And I know a few professional furniture makers that are the same way. That you splurge because this is the stuff you work with day in and day out, and you want a little bit of bling.
Yeah.
A little bit of workbench bling, a little bit of a hand tool bling. Yeah, that's fine.
And this isn't a matter of survival here. It's not like we're a lot of what we do, like you're saying, it's got that hobbyist. Even for Matt and I, our job is the content. And the woodworking is still the thing that we find fun and purely enjoy for what it is, which means, if we throw a little bit of extra money to make it even more fun for us, that's part of what, gets us excited about what we do, but it's
the same reason that, I've got a 32-inch flat screen in my shop,
Exactly.
I've got an authentic piece of Spider-Man artwork hanging on the wall in my shop, because it's my clubhouse.
That's right.
Gotta have it.
Faux show. All right. Well, I think that's going to... Go ahead. Sorry, Matt.
I said, going off what you said, Mark, so the way that I see a lot of things, like when I'm buying like these hand tools or whatever, a lot of what I do is like people ask me, like, is it worth buying this first? Or what is this like? Like, if I don't buy these things and have them in my shop for my own use, I can't answer those questions very well.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I got to spend that money to have that knowledge because people come to me for that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. And that's the thing where... Go ahead, Shannon.
No, I was just going to say, it's kind of funny because walking into this question, it was like, ooh, I don't know what to pick. And now I can't not think of things.
Everything.
It's terrible.
It all falls under that category.
My Veritas shooting plane, that's a great example right there.
Yeah. That's how, we're in a little too deep, I think is the problem here. All right. Yeah. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up here. And I guess you guys have a great weekend, and we will catch you next time.
Bye. Happy weekend.
Happy excess.
Happy excess.
Happy spending. All right.
And this is where we drop affiliate links into the show notes, right?
That's right. Yeah, top to bottom. I actually just got, I don't know if Nicole applied for this or if this is like an old thing. I just got approval for Taunton's affiliate program. And I don't remember applying for it, but maybe Nicole did. One. Neither did I.
They just signed you up.
Yeah.
It's like Columbia House. You're going to start getting stuff.
It was apparently a unilateral decision that I would be an affiliate.
Huh.
But I'm okay with it because I do, there's certain times where I want to link to their stuff. I think their archives are fantastic. Although I need to get one that catches me up from like, what are we in 2017? So I have like up to 2015, I think. And I don't want to buy the whole damn archive again. I just want that upgrade thing with the last 3 years in it. I don't know if I can get that. Anybody know? If you know, let me know.
I'm sure you can get it.
I'll just, have my people call their people and it'll be fine. That's how it works, right?
I probably have that through just my subscription, like through their app, but I don't think you can take that stuff out.
No, I have the
Depending
the
on whether or not
desktop.
we're still live right now,
We are.
I could.
Oh, I see. I get where you're going with this.
No, honestly, I don't think you can extract because it's not like you're downloading a PDF. Like Pop Wood sends out PDFs. Fine Woodworking, like you have to view the magazines in the app
Yeah.
itself. So I don't.
Lame-o.
Yeah, get that screenshot button ready.
Yeah,
Yep.
There you go.
Please.
That's a lot of screenshots.
So I used to do it with my
I
comics.
don't like you that much.
Hey,
Mark.
it's better than going down to the library and photocopying every page.
That's true.
Wow, that's ghetto.
Johnny V in the chat room says Matt's wearing red and black. Mark's wearing red and black. What's up with Shannon?
All blue.
Shannon likes to be the odd man out. He's the
Goonies
blue sheep
forever.
of the family.
Yep, that's me.
Blue sheep.
All right, I'm going to kill the live stream. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. We appreciate it. We're going to do our weekend or email extra right now.
Time for the dead stream.